hope I'm clearly audible to you. Yeah, let's begin today's session. I am starting today's session with a doubt question somebody had asked. So here a sequence is, so basically a pattern is shown here. And what is suggested is there's some sequence associated with this. What you have to guess is what pattern or what symbol will replace this question mark. So after this comes, then comes this, some operation is performed, then this figure happens. Another operation is performed and this figure happens. So there's some sequence associated with it, and you have to find what will replace this question mark of these options. Only one answer is possible in this case. Okay. So like we follow, kindly answer in the chat box, and I will suggest whether you're right or not. All right. Just try it once. It's not that difficult. And there has been a debate of two possibilities, and I will also discuss that. Tisha, wrong answer. Wrong answer. He wrong answer. Shrujal wrong answer. Ria wrong answer. Vansh Dia wrong answer. Palak wrong answer. Jumil Anvi wrong answer. All right, wait. So let's just see what is happening here. All right. So from this sequence to this sequence, the arrow, which is this, I'm just looking at the arrow right now because that's more prominent. The arrow shifts 1 and 2 positions here. So I'm going to write 2. From this position to this position, the arrow shifts 1, 2, and 3 positions. So there is a change in 3 position in clockwise direction. Okay. Here also it's clockwise direction. Then from this position to this position, it shifts 5 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, same clockwise direction. Then from this position to that position, it shifts. You can say 1, 2, or you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. If I'm going with some kind of logical sequence. So again, 7 or 2, either of them. Then from this position to this position, from this position, so either you can follow a sequence of 2, 3, 5, 7. I mean, what is the sequence? It looks to me, one guess which I made for myself was it is some series of prime number rotations which is happening. So if I guess that correct, if I guess that okay, it's a series, the number of time the arrow is shifting, it is the prime, it is because of prime series. So 2, 3, 5, 7, the next number would be 11. 11 would be the next prime number after that. So if I say 11, then just shifts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So the arrow in that case has to come in this position here. Of the options where the arrow is happening in this position is D, and which also happens to be the correct answer for this thing. There had been some debates for C, but I don't know on certain platforms. I don't know the C logic behind it. But it's in the answer key which is provided, it is D is to be the correct answer. If somebody who has said C to be the answer, if they can come forward and let me know the reason for that, it will be great. One second. second. Ria, how come it is 7? How come it is 7 isn't it 5? I'm saying you're talking about, I think you're talking of this change, right? This is 7 because the arrow from this position shifts to here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's why 7 here. And then I followed that it's 2, 3, some series of 2, 3, 5, 7. And hence, which are also prime numbers, and hence the next prime number after 7 will be 11. And that's why I guess that arrow should be in the 11th position. Is that clear, Ria? I am not clear with what your question is, but do you still have any confusion with the logic?
No, ma'am, it is cleared.
Okay. Any other logic that you applied and got a different answer, you can put it forward here. That's fine. But the answer key suggests the answer to be D here.
मैम
हाँ
एक बार और एक्सप्लेन करो ना, आपने कैसे मतलब कैलकुलेट किया 1 2 3 वाला?
this
हाँ, yes.
it is a rotation, so it is clockwise rotation. ये arrow, I just looked at the arrow, so arrow changes from this position to 1 to second position यहाँ पे. So two change हुआ है यहाँ पे. Then from second position, which is this, it moves 3 positions. So 1, 2, and 3. It comes here in this part. यहाँ से फिर वो यहाँ पे आ रहा है, which means 5 position का change हुआ है. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is this. From this, there's a change of 7 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So इसलिए arrow यहाँ पे आया. That's why this series is written here. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Any doubt anybody has?
Ma'am, so in the first pattern, the arrow is pointing downwards. Then in the second one, it is in top left corner. Then again, 2 times it's downward. Then again, top left corner. So now it will come downwards. No?
ऐसा नहीं है. It's not upward downward. It is the rotation. If you heard the solution, it is how it is rotating. The arrow is rotating. It's not upward downward. So यहाँ से 2 position change हुआ है. So 1, 2. So that's why here 2 position change. From this, like I'm not repeating this again, but from this position it is 1, 2, 3. Likewise. So you don't have to say upward or downward rotation. It is actually number of times the arrow is shifting this position. It's not upward or downward in this case. Okay.
Yeah.
Any doubts?
That is the same reason why even I chose option C, ma'am.
Option C, because it's downward. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but here it was the logic that you have to follow is the rotation, the number of times it's shifting. Okay.
Ma'am, how do we know which logic we should choose, ma'am? The pattern or the number?
Upward, downward wala logic now it's weaker, frankly. In this kind of questions where some kind of a gear is given, this is a kind of a gear, okay? Where or if it is a hexagon or if it is a circle, first don't go with the upward downward thing. First try with some kind of rotation possibility. If the rotation possibility does not work for you, only then shift towards any other logic would be my suggestion.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any doubts anybody has? Okay. We'll move to the next one. Here, there are some patterns which are given in before I commence with explaining the question, in this question 1 or more answers are possible. All right. So here some patterns are given to you, and these patterns are made on a wall by using ceramic tiles. Which of the following patterns are made using only a single type of tile? So only one single type of tile is used to make this. You to find all those patterns where only one single type of tile is used to make this whole wall. Please note it is a ceramic tile, so you cannot flip a ceramic tile. Mirror nahi kar sakte. You cannot do mirror, or you cannot flip the ceramic tile, because you cannot flip it and put it on use the other side of it. It's not transparent. A ceramic tile is solid. So you can rotate the ceramic tile, but you cannot flip it. So wherever flipping is happening will be the case where there are 2 or 3 ceramic tiles. This is your clue for answering this. There are one or more answer possible. Shrujal, your answer is partially correct. Khushbu, your answer is wrong. Manya, Darsh, partially right answer. Khushi, partially right answer. Vansh, wrong answer. Kashti, partially right answer. Rishabh, correct answer. Man, wrong answer. Shrujal, correct answer. Jay, partially correct answer. Tanvi, correct answer. Meera, correct answer. Kashvi, correct answer. Mahi, wrong answer. Jay, correct answer. Prithvi, wrong answer. Tisha, partially correct answer. Vishwa, partially correct answer. Heer, correct answer. Visha, wrong answer. Anvi, wrong answer. Maitri, partially correct answer. All right. So in this case, rotation is possible, but mirror or flipping is not possible. So I'm just going to highlight the pattern, which is mirror here. This pattern is a mirror of the tiles which are there in this position. And in case of option D, this pattern, even this pattern. And if this is the one, then even this pattern. So these are the places where flipping or mirror is applied. So they are not possible. So option A and option C are the correct ones. In this case, only when ceramic tiles are given or any object, which if you use and as a transparent, which you cannot use as transparent sheet, you cannot basically mirror or flip it. All right, a ceramic tile likewise is a solid object. You can rotate the ceramic tile. You cannot flip or do a mirror on the ceramic tile. So henceforth, the logic that one applies for answering this to find which pattern cannot be made from a single type of tile is where mirror option is applied. In this case, mirror option is applied in case of option B, it is applied here. So if I rotate this, or if I just look at some pattern which is similar to what B is showing, this pattern on the first corner is what this and this are similar position. In terms of position, they are similar, or this position. So if I flip it, then I get this tile, which means this is a different tile and all other tiles are unique. They can be made from this tile. You just need to do the rotation option. While in case of D, 1, 2, 3, all these 3 tiles are same, which means versus if I compare this tile and this tile together, these 2 tiles, for example, If I compare these two tiles together, they are mirror of each other. They are flipped along each other. That's why there cannot be, I mean, you cannot use this along the vertical axis, okay? Not along the horizontal axis, but along the vertical axis. If I flip it, I get this figure. You can look at, you can compare it here likewise, okay? Instead of diagonally here. So henceforth, A, B, and D are not possible. A and C are the correct answer. Kavya, are you clear now? All right. Any other doubts? Any questions? Again, okay. So Sanchi, what has happened is this is a ceramic tile. The ceramic tile can be rotated, but it cannot be flipped or mirror. So wherever in the options there is flipping or mirror happening, in that case, you cannot use that same ceramic tile. I mean, it's not the same ceramic tile, it's a different ceramic tile. In case of B, this is a flipped or a mirrored ceramic tile. This is mirrored along the vertical axis with this tile. If you compare these two diagonals, ये vertical axis को mirror करो, you get this tile, which means this and this tiles are different. In case of D, it's mirrored along the vertical axis, these two tiles, which means ये और ये दो tiles are different. That's why B and D has two different tiles possible versus A and C are made up of only single type of tile. In the question, it is not written that we cannot. How can we know? Because it's a ceramic. We can know that because it's a ceramic tile. Ceramic tile may, so in your home also, if you are seen laying process of ceramic tiles, वो square होती है and you can rotate and you can put it however you want. But आप उल्टा करोगे तो पीछे के side it is blank. पीछे के side वो you know, you see the texture of concrete or you see the texture of plaster, or sometimes it is white in color with some pattern, which is a different pattern. That's why we can say that flipping or mirror में नहीं काम करेगा. Vansh, have I answered your question? Okay. ठीक. Any other doubts? Any other questions? All right. We'll move. Okay, we'll move to the next one then. So here there is a pattern given as your question. A part of the pattern is cut out. This part is cut out. You have to find which is the cutout. Only one answer is possible here in this case. My suggestion to you in this case is construct the edges or corners. Start with the corners first. If from the corners you are able to find the correct answer, great. If not, then go to the edges. Kashti Man, correct answer. Riya, correct answer. Shrujal, wrong answer. Kavya, wrong answer. Rishabh, correct answer. Ashvi, wrong answer. Twisha, correct answer. Heer, Tanvi, correct answer. Manush, Dia, correct answer. Meera, wrong answer. Anvi, Ashvi, Palak, Tisha, Mahi, correct answer. Drumil, correct answer. In this case, the correct answer is option B. Let me tell you how did I do that. How I did that is, if I just look at this corner, ye wala. What I see is, iska jo part hai, this arch is incomplete. And what I also see is there's a bulb, sepia color ka may be happening here. So in this case, all I need to do is just find this condition ke jahan pe in the box along the corner, I get an arch and I get this part. This arch is very small, it's not so big. So aisa condition sirf B mein aa raha hai yahan pe. If you look at this part. C में भी वो condition दिखेगा, but ये arch का position गलत है. This arch का position is wrong. If you look at the corner, ये जो कॉर्नर है ना उसमें वो आर्च दोनों साइड इक्वली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है. सॉरी, the arch is distributed equally on both the sides. It's not asymmetrical. So C नहीं आएगा, B आएगा आंसर. Any doubts, any questions in this? In this kind of question, start with the four corners first. Once you are done with the four corners, after, if you are still finding that all the four corners they are looking same, then go with the edges, this edges, all these edges, then go with edges. इसके वाले, ये वाले, कोई भी एक edge से चालू करो. In this case, if I just observe the options, they are all drastically different. I mean, the corners of all the options are drastically different. So all I need to do is just I stick to one corner, not even all four corners, and I get the correct answer. Why I suggested you to check the corners first was because if I look at the options first, I realize that all the corners of all the options are different. So if I just stick to one corner, I will find the answer easily without getting into much detail. Is that clear? Any doubts, any questions? In these kind of questions related to pattern, check the options first, if they are drastically different or if there is very minor similarities between them. Any doubts anybody has? Okay, we'll move to the next one then. All right, so here you are given these 4 tools and you're given some statements. You have to find this is one or more options are correct because this here is given is/are correct. Okay, which means one or more options are correct. What you have to find is which of the options is or are correct. One or more option is possible in this case, all right? Mahi, partially correct answer. Vishwa, correct answer. One partially correct answer. Trisha, correct answer. Dia, Heer, Trisha, correct answer. Tanvi, Kavya, Anvi, correct answer. Darsh, partially correct answer. Kashvi, Ashvi, correct answer. Meera, partially correct answer. Shrujal, Pratvi, Palak, Kushi, Dyay, Kushbu, correct answer. Rishabh, correct answer. In this case, the correct answer is A and C. A and C. Why A? Because it says that all the tools have at least one common working principle, which is they are used for cutting something, not fabric but something. It can be used for cutting, cracking open a nut, cutting the plants or shrubs or some edges. They can be used for cutting fabrics, but they are used for cutting something. Or wires. Next one, all of them can be used for cutting fabric, which is not possible, especially with the second tool, which is a nutcracker, which looks like a nutcracker. It's not possible. And also this tool, which is a nutcracker, it's not possible. Only one has spring back option. At least one has provision to crack nuts. One has spring back option, which is this one. This tool has spring back option, which not there, which you can see here, and the tool at least one, which is this one, at least this one has the provision to crack nuts, is correct. And then the last one says 3 of them has a provision to crack nuts. It's not possible. तीनों में, ये दोनों में तो possible ही नहीं है that you can crack a nut. So that also gets negated very easily. Twisha, it's open today. I am at Precept only. All right. Any other questions anybody has in this? Okay, it's fairly simple. Here, you're supposed to perform a mirror function. All right. So this lady Seema is looking into a mirror, which means a mirror function, of course, mirror along the vertical axis. Which option shows her reflection correctly? Now, if you look at the options A, B, C, D, all the options basically are have different orientation. So you will be easily able to negate one. And after you're negated one, you will be left with 3 of them, and in the 3 of them, you just have to check the positioning of certain elements. That's it. Just 1 second. Somebody has messaged. I need to respond. 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah. Kavya, Maitri, Vishwa, Diya, Kushbu, Anvi, Van, Shriya, Shrujal, Kashti. Basically, everybody who has answered, it's correct answer. In this case, the correct answer is option C here. With case of option A, it gets negated because it's a different orientation. It's clearly a different orientation. With case of option B, the position of this thing is wrong. So option B gets negated there. With case of option D also, that is wrong. So wahan se wo bhi, this again, the pimple itself is wrong. So because of that, it gets negated. So option C is the correct one. Any doubts, any questions in this? Okay. We'll move to the next one. Here, you're given a condition, you're given a position. Basically, how this lady is holding a torch. What is written is Kavita is holding a lit torch below her face as she narrates a ghost story to her friends in a dark room. Which option shows the correct lighting position? Which option shows the correct lighting position? Heer, Man, Diya, correct answer. Kashvi, Kashti, Vansh, correct answer. Prithvi, wrong answer. Mahi, Darsh, correct answer. Tisha, wrong answer. Shrujal, Khushbu, Tanvi, Kavya, Twisha, correct answer. 1 second. Both Twisha M, Twisha P, correct answer. Rishabh, wrong answer. Tye, Drumel, wrong answer. Sanchi, correct answer. Tisha J, wrong answer. Ria, correct answer. In this case, many of you may say A to be the correct answer. It's wrong. In this case, the correct answer is option B. In case of A, the position of this torch cannot be here. The position of this torch have to be in this position here. Why? Because the arch of the light is here. You cannot have the torch placed on this position and the arch at the bottom, which is wrong position. Option B may that condition satisfied, where the torch happens, the light starts from there itself. And it is because the torch is in the middle, the lighting is also symmetrical in nature. In case of C, the lighting is asymmetrical in nature because the hand is lit very differently and the face is also lit very differently. What it says is the torch is kept somewhere in this position. Sorry, in this position, somewhere on the left side. Versus in case of D, only the eyes are getting lit, which is a slit. So if the torch is at the bottom, almost this much part gets lit. So that is also wrong. So D galat hai, C bhi galat. And B will be the correct answer. Any doubts, any questions in this? Okay. We'll move to the next one then. This is a similar question like we saw earlier one. In this case, what you have to find is there's a cutout which is done, and in a page which has these different lines drawn. Okay, this cutout is a tilted square. You have to identify which of the option will this cutout fit in. One second. In this case, let me tell you, it is much easier to draw this line, to draw these lines in your sketchbook and try to make the intersection. It will be much easier. If you can draw proportionately, if you can draw a rectangle like this, and if you can proportionately place the starting point and the ending point of the lines and literally draw it in your sketchbook. After that, all you have to do is just search for the cutout and you'll find it. You don't need to worry much about it. Another option, if you're not able to draw, would be checking that much part. Would be checking these edges. Another option would be this. So if I were to look at the first one, the dark line and the thick line and the thin line. I'm just starting with these two first. The thick line and the thick line distances, one is a shorter distance and one is a longer distance, and it is rotated. All right. So if I were to rotate any tile, whichever way, also I need to look at this distance and I also need to look at this distance. So with that condition, C and B does not qualify. Why they don't qualify is because in C and B, a flipping function is possible. So if I rotate C along that angle like this, ये वाला आपका यहाँ पे आएगा. Sorry, one second. Yeah, sorry, the thin line will come on this side and the thick line will come on this side. The double line that I've drawn is a thicker line position. In case of B, if I rotate it at an angle, the thick line again happens on this position and the thin line happens on this position. So B or C, dono galat hai because of that condition. Okay, because a flipping function is done on them. That's why. Amongst the option, excuse me. Sorry, one second. Amongst the option A and D, all I need to check is this distance between them. The distance between them in D is very less. मैं वहां से D को negate करूंगी and I will choose option A. Is that clear? Is that clear? Any doubts? Anybody? Any questions anybody has? I'm not sure why anybody has not answered this. Okay, you have. I've not seen it. Sorry. Sorry, I just saw that, but option A would be the correct one, whoever has answered option A. Okay. Any doubts, any questions anybody has? All right. We'll move
मैम
to
ऑप्शन ए कैसे आया मतलब
the distance, no? I told you, ये वाला distance. D में ये distance कम है. Between A and D, the distance is less than D, which does not look so wide. So इसलिए option A choose किया.
पर मैम अगर वो लाइन वहां पे है ही नहीं तो
Sorry.
मतलब हम लोग जब लाइंस को मर्ज कर देंगे तो वही पैटर्न आके बनेगी ना
Merge, you don't, but I'm talking about this distance, this thickness. जहाँ से ये चालू होता है.
हाँ पर वो थिकनेस कैसा है एक बार मुझे
वो
लाइन
यहाँ से
वापस
आया. वो distance यहाँ से आया. Okay.
ओके
Any doubts anybody has? I'm not sure how many of you got A, but if you got A, your answer is correct. All right. We'll move to the next one then. This is a similar question. A black sheet is there, and in that black sheet, there's a cutout. What you have to do is you have to find which of these options are the cutouts, basically. Just give me one minute. Okay. Before you start answering, it's a very simple thing. There are few conditions where a mirror option is performed. There are few options where a mirror option is performed. Can anybody tell me where is the mirror option performed? Can anybody spot the mirror option? It's possible. Can you spot the mirror option? Yes, great. So that is not the one. That is not the one. All right. So this is not the one. Then if I look at option D, look at this distance and look at this distance, which is happening here. So D, not possible. Then if I look at A, look at this triangle and look at the triangle cutout, which is there here. So again, A is not possible. What am I left with? Option C. So that's the correct one. Okay. In this case, start with the questions. Okay, mirror wala kaun sa hai? If mirror wala nahi aa raha hai usme, then after that, the next question for you would be, okay, let me check the proportions of different parts. Because if I just observe the options, option D में ये वाला angle का बहुत issue हो रहा है, which is small. So that's why I say वो तो possible नहीं है, it's wrong. And A में the triangle which is jutting out is bigger one. That's where ये वाला angle छोटा है. So this is also wrong that way. A and C, you are saying Kashti. One second. What's the difference between triangles of A and C? You look at the lengths, no? This is bigger. This triangle ka length is bigger. It's almost equal to that. ये वाला angle देखा? Let me erase this, wait. If I compare X by Y proportionately, this X and this Y proportionately versus this X and this Y proportionately, this falls closer to you. Okay. ठीक है. Any doubts anybody has? 1 second. Because it's given using simple rotation here. I mean, read the question once. Anvi, your question is very logical. But what is given in the question is which black shape from the options will match the white shape in the figure using simple rotation, which means mirror function is not possible. Okay. Read the question very carefully. Okay. Chalo, we'll move to the next one then. So you are given a font and you have to find which of the option belongs to the same font. Like I said earlier, with fonts, look at the thickness. If the thickness is similar, look at the ends, how these letters are ending here. Then look at in Hindi letters, also look at how that matra is ending and how that matra is starting and how that matra is ending for different fonts. Look at that also. One second. Okay, so far everybody has given the correct answer. All are correct answers. All right. So in this case, the correct answer is option A. And I get that just by simply looking at the bottom matra. If I just compare the bottom part, how the font ends like this. You know, there's a curve here and then it ends like that. A is the only one where that thing is happening. With B, it's too long. With C, again, it does that curve, no problem. But the issue that happens is on this part with C, the front part. And also with D, also the same, the front part is little bit problem because there's a curve in the front part. There's a slight curve in the front part. And of course, the end is wrong. This ending is wrong with D. So that's why option A will be the correct one. Okay. You have to be very observant in case of fonts because you have to compare the thickness and then you have to compare the end and then you have to also make, if you feel it's 2 or 3 options are there, then you also look at how that matra is happening in Hindi fonts. All right. Any doubts, any questions? Okay, we'll move to the next one. Here, there's an envelope which is given to you, and there are some cutouts in the envelope that are made. So from this envelope, we transition to this cutouts. When this cutout wala envelope is opened up, what is the shape of or what is the form of the paper that we get after you open it? After you open it, okay? In this case, because it's a little bit tricky, let me just try mapping which are the options which are not possible. In this case, just look at the options. Don't construct the shapes. Just look at the options which are not possible. Like if I observe this in option A, because both the triangles are, looking in the one direction, yahan pe aur yahan pe, it's not possible. Because if there is a triangle which is happening here, and if the fold is happening along this axis, this triangle will have to look in this direction. Then, okay, thank you so much for answering. With case option C also, the same condition is happening here, and that same condition is happening here. Again, not possible. Then I'm left with option B and option D. How do I decide which is the correct one? Now, if I observe carefully the differences that are there, I don't construct here. I look at, okay, what is the difference that B and D has? I ask that question first instead of jumping into, okay, what will the correct form be? So I ask, okay, what is the difference? So I check row by row. This is a difference. ये part देख रहे हो आप लोग? This part. That is a difference between B and D. Sorry, 1 second. It's bigger. It's not that much. It's actually that much. Kitna part. And kitna part. All I have to do now is just check that much part, nothing else. Now, if I check with B, this part happens somewhere here. B में वो part यहाँ पे आ रहा है. In case of D, that part happens on this edge. So if I were to fold it in on the first, to the one side which is towards this flap, the one side which is towards this flap, there has to be a triangle, and then the other side there has to be a rectangle, which is happening here. Now, if I were to look at the other flap, this one, that same thing happens. If I fold it up like that, if I fold it up like that, that same thing happens here, where, sorry, 1 second, on this side, sorry. So what I get is, okay, okay, that's not much of a problem because I'm looking at two different sides now. So wo problem nahi hai difference ka. Then between B and D, let me see other sides also if there is any issue. Okay, chalo, let me just orient it like that and let me check it. So if I were to orient it like that, diagonal and square, triangle and square will happen here on top. On the other side, which is this side, triangle and square happens, and then at the bottom, triangle, square, and then on the other side, square and triangle. Now, if I were to construct this shape again, so this is a problem, sorry, this is a problem with D. 1 second. So if I were to draw that line here, are you able to get my issue when I draw this line? So in this case, if I were to close this flap inside, that triangle, this in case of D, this triangle will look something like this. And this one. Versus if I were to close this flap with case of option B, that flap on top will look something like this. Okay, and the triangle at the bottom, I'm not drawing that. So both are different. And which is the closest one is option B. So B will be the correct answer in this case. I don't know why you have given option D to be the correct answer, many of you. Maybe because of this part only, I'm not sure, but B will be the correct answer, okay? Any doubts, any questions anybody has? All right. We'll move to the next one then. Here, the question, you have to read the question very carefully, okay? A light source is attached to a rod which is fixed in the center of a ceiling of a square room. This room is square, it's a cube room basically. And a rod is kept, and from that rod, a light source is suspended. The light source rotates 360 degrees with the rod fixed at its axis. The rod is fixed and the light source is rotating 360 degrees. The setup is shown in the isometric view and the side view of the figure below. Identify the correct path of the beam of light on the four walls of the room. In this case, just carefully observe the options. They are drastically different from each other, which means there's very little scope for confusion. Then, after you are done that, what you do is you look at the distance of the light source as it moves from center of one wall. So, you know, right now, if you're seeing the position in the isometric view, the light source is pointing in the center. When this light source moves towards the edge, the distance from the light source and the edge will increase. If the distance increases, will the light source point towards upward or downward from that center line? Think about that. The distance of the light source, when it is rotated, it will increase. Does the point of the light source will move upward or downward? Kashti, you are wrong. It will move downward because the distance has increased. The light source is fixed. If the light source were to move along with it or rotate itself, only then it goes upward. If it is moving downward, which means the center point, the wall का जो center है, वो highest point होगा of the light source trajectory, and as it moves towards the edge, it goes down. As it moves towards the edge, it goes down. So in the square, it looks somewhat on one wall. I'm just exaggerating it a lot, but it will the edge, the one wall में light source का path will look somewhat like that. Hence, the correct answer will be option A in this case. Any doubts, any questions anybody has? Okay, we'll move to the next one. Here you are given figure, top view, front view, and side view of a solid. You're given the three sides of a solid, and the solid looks exactly the same from all the three sides. You have to find the number of surfaces that this solid has, the minimum number of surfaces that this solid has. The bare minimum number of surface that the solid has, okay? I'm going to help you out here, okay? 1 second. Let me draw that. Let's just try drawing one corner of the solid. We'll try and draw one corner of the solid, okay? I'm just going to first draw a cube, okay? Just to get me the frame, I'm first going to draw a cube. Cube ka corner I'm just constructing here, all right? Then there are, so what I all see here is there are circles here. Sorry for that sketch, ugly one, but it's very difficult for me to draw on screen like this, but I hope you get it. So there are square circles here, all right? What happens in this corner is what you called a squinch. SQUINCH. what you get and on that corner is called a squinch. The squinch, this corner. Squinch is a surface. It's in 3D. So a squinch surface looks somewhat like this. It's called a squinch surface. It is one surface, let me tell you. Yes, as you're guessing, getting all correctly, the correct answer is option B, which is 14 surfaces this solid will have. Why 14 surfaces? Because there will be 6 sides. One second. There will be 6 sides of circles, 6 circle sides, I'm just right. Plus, there will be 8 squinches in the corner. 6 plus 8 will equal to 14. Hence, the correct answer will be, 1 and 4, 14, which will be option B. Okay.
मैम
Any-
squinches वाला पता नहीं चला.
So, if you want to visualize what a squinch looks at, I would suggest you कि squinch mosque में बहुत देखने को मिलता है, especially the mosque, Hagia Sophia Mosque या Suleimania Mosque are some of the mosques where squinches are observed very, like they're there very evidently. My suggestion would be you look at that squinch first, and also squinch ना corner पे ऐसा weird वाला curve का shape होगा यहाँ पे. At all corners it will have. It will look like exactly like a triangle here, and it will connect the edges of the circle like this. Okay. So इसमें what you see here as a corner getting formed is actually the circle का edge. It's not the edge of the squinch. इसमें ये triangle जो दिख रहा है आपको, those are the squinches. Okay. So that's where this kind of solid will have 6 of the circular sides plus 8 squinches on the 8 corners. Okay. Any doubts, any questions you have? Let me tell you, if you want to visualize a squinch, you can, of course, you can write squinch and mosque and you will find the visuals. But you can also write squinch surface and you can find how it looks like to connect the corners of circular edges, basically. Any doubts, any questions? Let me see if the next one is easy, if we can take that. Yeah, this is easy. Let's just take this. This is a very easy question. Here this lady, this woman is running. Sheetal is running. Which option denotes the most natural pose for this woman? One answer is possible. In this case, you just need to look at the hand-leg coordination. Just look at the hand-leg coordination, you will get the answer. Anvi, wrong answer. So far, everybody has given the correct answer. Okay, in this case, the correct answer is option C. Why option C? If like I suggested, look at the hand-leg coordination. Option D is of course not possible, and that's why I'm not even looking at it. Option D galat hai isme, because it looks as if this woman is lifting something. It's not running. With A, B, and C, just look at the hand-leg coordination. When you're running, if your left leg is forward, your right leg is moving forward. Sorry, if your left leg is forward, your right hand is moving forward. It is alternate position. In B case, ये, for example, if I'm moving forward, उसका right leg है, तो उसका hand भी right आगे move हो रहा है, which is not possible. So is happening with option A. उसका left leg है और उसका left हाथ ही आगे move हो रहा है, which is not possible. With case of option C, only you see this condition where the left leg is there and the right hand is moving forward. When you're running, that is your natural pose. आपका जो भी पाँव आगे बढ़ेगा उसका opposite side का हाथ will be moving forward. That's why C will be the correct answer. Any doubts, any questions? All right. Yes. All right. So with this, we end this session.